This is the Hayes Realty Real Estate Podcast. Hayes Realty is a team of former Big Five banking foreclosure specialists committed to helping homeowners win in the real estate market. Their knowledge of the foreclosure banking industry, combined with their deep understanding of the Southern California real estate market, have enabled them to meet the needs of many homeowners facing foreclosure. Here's the host of your show, Emmett Hayes.
What up, everybody? This is Emmett Hayes with the Hayes Realty Real Estate Podcast. Thanks for tuning in another week with us. Today, we have a very special guest joining in with us today. He is a legendary known doctor on the East Coast. I just spoke at one of his conferences that he had, License to Live. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to introduce you to the one and only Dr. Jarret Patton.
Hey, thank you for having me on the show today. I'm just, I'm pumped up to be here. Get out here to LA, and it's like the first thing I think of, all right, let me see what Hayes Realty is up to. Let me see what Emmett Hayes is up to. And I'm just happy to be on the scene with you.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, we're glad that you tapping in with us. When I know you're all over the place. You're flying from coast to coast, and a lot of your time is spent speaking at different engagements and uplifting the people. So we want to get you in here and uplift our people over here. So quickly, we want to talk about this License to Live. You just had the conference. Now, could you just kind of explain a little bit about License to Live?
Well, it's one of these things that kind of came by intention. However, it wasn't my intention. And thinking about the book, thinking about the conference and everything that's gone under License to Live is really a philosophy that I've ascribed to and teach to my clients, because a lot of us have advanced certifications, things that make us special, things that make us stand out in the market. And, people can credit you to all of these things. And those things can come and go, like anything in life. But you can always keep your license to live.
Wonderful. Those things can come and go. Very interesting, because a lot of times when I talk about real estate, and a lot of times I have a background in foreclosure, right then and there, we're talking about things coming and going. You get a property, and if you're not financially ready at that time to maintain that property, is going to go eventually. And our whole thing is we try to teach people how, first of all, not to fall into foreclosure and let it go, but how to be financially ready when going into buying a home. So I like how License to Live has some similarities to the foreclosure market, and people who are in foreclosure. A lot of times they start feeling sorry for themselves. And so when you're talking License to Live, how do we get our people who maybe are going through a downturn or downtime in their life, how do we get them to not feel sorry for themselves and pick themselves back up?
Well, when you think of all the things that can happen in your life, there's sometimes things simply don't go out as the way you had planned. And there's a few things that you can lean on in these situations. You're going to want your support system, number one, your family, your friends, your faith. These are going to be some of the core things that are going to keep you through this. But that's not everything. I mean, people can uplift you. They can give you love. They can hold on to you, but they can't get other things done for you at the same time. You have to make a decision yourself, one way or another. Am I going to let this be the end of my story, or is this moment only the beginning?
Wonderful, wonderful. That leads me to a quote that we've said a few times over the year in the podcast, and that is, it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. So that has a lot to do with what you just said, because in speaking in real estate, a lot of times people feel like, oh, well, the market crashed or something in the market. The pandemic came, which forced me to lose my job, which then in turn, now I can't make my mortgage payments. Oh, this isn't fair. This is not my fault. But like we would say, even though it's not your fault, it is your responsibility to put a plan in place in order to either maintain that home or figure out what your next options are if you cannot maintain that home. So I like how that's flowing with what you kind of got going at License to Live. And I was at the conference, and a lot of doctors, prominent doctors that have been going through a lot of things. And one of the key things that I noticed each time was that how they spoke so highly of you, of how you just picked them back up, sort of lifting the weight of the world off their shoulders.
And now, here is a quick word from our sponsors.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee.
Order your bag of EH3 coffee at eh3coffee.com, or you can find us at walmart.com.
Hey, this is Dr. Jarret Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, License to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. License to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com. This is Dr. Jarret Patton. You are listening to the Hayes Realty Real Estate Podcast.
A lot of times when our clients are going through foreclosure, they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. And sometimes they don't realize that a lot of that is kind of, you put that on yourself because you're trying to do something that you know is not sustainable. So when we're talking License to Live and doing things that aren't sustainable, how do we maintain that license to live if we're doing things that are not sustainable?
That's right. It's a journey. You're on a journey, and you have to think of what that destination. And sometimes there are different stops along the way before you get to some of those farther away places. You know, most of the time when I fly out to LA, it's Philly, LAX directly. But, you know, every once in a while, I have to have a stop in another city. So I may stop in Denver, Colorado and have an engagement there, or maybe stop in Austin, Texas and have something there. And that's okay, because it actually ends up weaving into your ultimate journey. And a lot of times, if you think you're good on your faith, your family and friends, one of the other things you think about is bringing positivity into your life. And when I wrote Licensed to Live, Daily Affirmations to Rebuild Your Life, that book is a 90-day testament that will fill your mind with positive affirmations that will work in your life relationships and your career relationships and go across your ultimate goal, because you are able to really see and believe. And I talk about stepwise how to start with affirmations. And in fact, if you want, say you can't go to Amazon and buy my book right now, I have 30 days free if you go to drjarretbook.com. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T, BOOK.com. And I will email you directly a 30-day ebook of affirmations.
Wonderful, wonderful. That affirmation book is going to be very, very helpful to those who are kind of down in the dumps when, going through maybe a default, or if you're in foreclosure and you may come to grips with, I got to sell my house so I could stop throwing good money after bad. You may start feeling down, but check out Dr. Jarret's affirmation book and pick yourself back up, because that's what it's about. In order to lift the weight of the world off your shoulders, you have to keep a positive mind frame. So when going through things, although you're down, you have to stay positive. So lastly, Dr. Jarret, I always tell people when, maybe they're going through default or foreclosure and they're realizing they can't no longer afford the home that they've been living in, and they want to stop throwing good money after bad, and they want to start all over. I tell people all the time, change is good. A lot of times with change comes new understanding and new opportunities. Because when you're going through something and you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and you're feeling down, you can't manifest those other opportunities that are coming your way because your mind is not right. So lastly, we want to talk about, when you're talking license to live, how change is really good for the soul.
Emmett, a lot of people don't like change. And they don't like change because it's uncomfortable for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And people want to be comfortable. You want to be sitting around in your pajamas, have your slippers on, just lounging, getting in a nice, comfortable zone. You don't want to be out there, fighting lions and tigers and going through all this extraordinary and courageous events. But change is good, just as you said, because change means that there is growth occurring. And even if it's in the midst of a struggle, even if it's in the midst of turmoil, that change is strengthening you and hardening you and transforming you into the next level of yourself that will get you. And a lot of people I coach into new careers or refreshing or restarting their careers, they have to understand that part first, is that it is not going to be a comfortable journey. But it's going to be one in which you are growing.
Yes. Growth. Growth is the key element in this, is learning from it. I tell people all the time, when you end up taking a loss in something, it's not really a loss, it's a lesson. You don't really lose, you learn. We want to thank Dr. Jarret for stopping by in his busy day and coming to holler at everybody over here on our camping crew. We really appreciate that. If you want to reach Hayes Realty, you can hit us up at Hayes Realty 100 on Instagram or Hayes Realty on Facebook. And Dr. Jarret, go ahead and give them your info also.
You can find me across the board at Dr. Jarret. My website is drjarret.com. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T, across all social media. It's also the same, Dr. Jarret. I spend a lot of time hanging out on LinkedIn, so you guys come connect with me on LinkedIn. You're going to hear what we're talking about.
There it is, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we'll holler at everybody.
Do you need any help with any real estate needs? Maybe you need to sell a home, or maybe you're looking to buy a home, or maybe you're going through foreclosure and need help in navigating through that. Reach out to Hayes Realty for all things real estate. Give us a call at 1-800-217-0034. We got you.